It's dark inside the tent. Surprisingly dark for how bright it is outside. There's a strong smell of kerosene. Did she break her lamp? Mother! No answer. As his eyes start to adjust, he can make out the shape of a bed, oddly raised in the center of the tent, with a shape laying on it. He moves towards it, but as he reaches out, he feels a strange, sharp pain in his head, and a voice speaks up from behind him.
I knew you'd come.
Of course you did. You know everything, right? Oh great Oracle of Clan Mountain Fist. Vargas turns to face his mother. She's just a silhouette against the darkness of the tent. But again he marvels over how small she seems, how old her voice has become. What else have you seen? Did you see all the years in prison? Did you see Urashka's death? What about Shamari's? And what about even earlier? Did you see what would happen to our clan? How the war would go? Did you see Desk's brother run through, and then watch his corpse thrown out like a sack of garbage? Because I did. She's silent for several seconds. He's not sure if he can even see her silhouette breathing. Finally, she speaks up.
I saw possibilities. Prophecy since the death of Aridin is more an art than a science. I saw you imprisoned. I also saw you dead, hanging in the street like the orc woman. I saw you exiled again. I even saw you and the Garundians seize the city, although I knew right away that that one was almost an impossibility. As for the war, I told you then what I saw. I told you the risks and the odds, and you ignored me. You ignored all of us, and you destroyed us. But that's in the past. Letting go of that version of you is going to be one of your first lessons. Learn from the past, but don't live in it.
Lesson. So you assume that I'm here to be your student? Or did you see that too? How do you know I'm not just here to tie up loose ends and leave again?
Because I did see it. I see things now that I didn't before. Not possibilities, certainties. I wonder if the old oracles saw things like this. If they did, then Aridin's death was a blessing, not a curse.
So now you're a true oracle? You can see the future with perfect clarity? How convenient it happened just in time for you to force your way back into my life the moment I started putting it back together. Do you realize what me being here means? It means my companions, my friends, the first friends I've had since Shamari, are facing what might be the greatest danger Numeria has ever seen. Without me. I left them. I lied to them, and I left them. Because at least some small part of me still believed that I had something left to learn from you. Something that could help me. But clearly I was wrong. You're the same egotistical, know-nothing know-it-all you've always been. More silence, and then...
Are you finished? There's a small wooden token on the edge of the bed. You're smart enough to figure out how to use it, I'm sure.
A token? Vargas walks to the edge of the strangely tall bed and sees several items piled there. You sleep like this. It's a mess. And the smell is going to make me sick. If you're too proud to tell Desk and Braun you broke your lamp, at least try cleaning it up yourself. He picks up the wooden token and examines it, runs his fingers over the feather carved into its face, and concentrates. It's magical. Conjuration school. I think to activate it, you... He flips the token into the air with his thumb, spins end over end, speeding up and seeming to hang in the air unsupported, before blurring and darting straight at him. Ugh! He puts up his hands to protect his face, but it dodges around them and settles onto his shoulder. He looks over at it and sees that it's become some sort of small, oddly angry-looking songbird. His mother laughs. What's so funny?
I chose that one specifically because I thought the contrast between yourself and a songbird would be fun to see. But of course you'd get a shrike rather than something like a sparrow or a jay. A killer for a killer.
Whatever. I can deliver messages, right? You want me to, write a note to them? Just say, "Oh, I'm so sorry I lied, and that I'm not beating you. Good luck with saving the world." Do you think they'll accept something like that?
I think you'd be surprised what they'll accept. They'll understand why you left, possibly even more than you do. But that's for later. For now, you've managed to draw this out long enough that I have to rest. But that's okay. I've made the initial connection, so I can come back whenever I need to now. So go tell those two that I'm ready.
Ready for what? What does any of what you just said mean? But there's no answer. He turns to her again, and she's gone. Mother. Nothing. Mother! Svetka nil! He runs to where she was and tears open the tent wall, letting the daylight stream in. She hasn't somehow snuck under the tent. He sees Desk and Braun moving quickly in his direction and waves them to speed up further before turning back to the bed. It isn't a bed. In the harsh, bright light of the day, he sees it clearly, and everything falls into place. The smell, the strange height of it, the odd placement of the tent itself, Desk and Braun's attitudes when he arrived, and his mother's cryptic words. Sitting in the center of the tent is a funerary pyre. Heaped around its edges are trinkets and curios, and resting upon it, arms crossed over something, dressed in the robes of a clan priestess, is the body of Svetka Nil. He hears the other two warriors come up behind them. One of him starts to speak up, but he holds up a hand to silence him, then gives the signal for a torch. He hears them light one, and it's pressed into his waiting hand. The bird on his shoulder lets out a chirp, and the torch crackles and burns, but otherwise the day has become silent. He looks at the body on the pyre, waiting for his emotions to come, but they don't. He clears his throat. Svetka Nil, final High Priestess of Clan Mountain Fist, direct descendant of Kal Shro, the Mountain Fist, daughter of Radhanil, the last true seer of Clan Mountain Fist, wife of Urgast Kal, 1139th War Chief of Clan Mountain Fist, and mother of Vargas Junk Punch of the very capable Four. I commit your mortal remains to the earth, and pray your spirit finds its place among the gods and the ancestors of our clans. He steps up to the body, takes the item clasped in her hands, and replaces it gently with the lit torch. The kerosene-soaked robes immediately burst into flame, and it starts licking its way down the equally soaked wooden cloth. He turns back to Desk and Braun. Let the tent burn with her. Pack what other gear you have and be ready to leave by nightfall. The bird chirps again and he looks down at it and softly smiles. And get me a quill and some paper. I have a letter to write. This is Pot Against the Machine.
Against the machine. Against the machine.
Welcome back to Pot Against the Machine, the only actual play podcast that's going to go through your stuff and take all those dead bodies you've been collecting. I'm your host, and here's everybody.
Hello.
Hey.
Some pre-clap banter now has me thinking, is there a correlation between a strong clap and a good show?
Let's find out.
Can we run that data?
We're going to have to go back and check the tape on all of our good episodes and see how the clap was.
It's fair, but as a friendly reminder to all those statistics hungry folk, correlation does not equal causation, though.
It's true. Absolutely. We're just sussing out the first part of that very important scientific maxim.
Because although we are against the machine, we aren't against coming up with a predictive model to help guide us in creating better episodes.
But strictly on paper, I think, is the key.
Oh, yeah.
No machine's more complicated than a pencil.
Maybe an abacus. Maybe.
Machines could never write better banter than this.
Oh, that's for sure.
What if it's one of those, like, really weird pencils that have, like, buttons and stuff all over them?
I'm here too.
So let's see, what happened last time? No time has passed, but previously the party had cleared out the top 2 floors of the tower and found just a huge pile of stuff, both magical and technological. So they spent some time identifying the loot and sort of figuring out who got what. And then they made their way all the way down, stairs after stairs after stairs, to the basement, where they ran into Nick Shariel, Garmin Ulreth's old employee, along with Alaris, the Technic League spy from Eidenvey, who, if you remember, wasn't fond of you all, but she'd also been transformed into an Apostle Chiton. There was also one of those deformed androids identical to those you saw in the wreck of the Aurora. Nick Shariel insisted that the body of an android that had been here was property of the Technic League, and that she would take it from you. The party refused and tried to convince her that they didn't have it, but she didn't believe them. Then Alwyn started a fight. That fight's gone pretty well for our hero so far, since Alwyn then dropped Nick Shariel and Alaris in a pit, where they've remained, taking their lumps and mostly unable to harm the party, mostly. And the android also went down in the first round because everyone forgot that Kira was staggered, which is a shame. But that's where we are now. I don't have a note of what round it is. I think it's the bottom of round 3. It is Nick Shariel's turn. How we feeling?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
I just had 2 sticks of a churro Kit Kat. Frozen, of course, so I'm feeling pretty good.
All right.
Murder this casino owner we haven't seen in 3 books.
I thought I was doing all right until I realized that Jeff's, like, doing all right is just leagues above my all right. So, yeah, I'm okay.
Gonna have to go buy some Kit Kats, it sounds like.
I know.
Well, they're everywhere now. Although I haven't seen the churro variety.
Me neither. Well, on Nick Shariel's turn, something happens that you can't see because you've all backed away from the pit that she's standing at the bottom, so you don't really have an angle to see her. But after that something happened, she says, "I'll admit, I was not expecting to be dropped in a hole. This has been a frustrating development. Perhaps it would be best if we share the android. If you show it to me, allow me to inspect the body for a moment, unharassed. I don't even need to be alone for it. That's all I ask, and we can go our separate ways." And her turn ends. It's time for Brixby.
Well, I wish I had a good sense motive, but I don't generally believe a disciple of pain at the bottom of a pit. As just I don't know if that was like Kipling or something. I don't. We don't believe you. You can have the android we wrecked in the first 6 seconds. Brixby is going to... It's going to delay.
Alright. We're back around to Alwyn.
Alwyn is, I guess, going to attempt a sense motive with his amazing +4 almost certainly not going to favor either way, because like Brixby said. That is a 21.
With a 21, it appears that she is indeed willing to simply inspect the android and walk away.
I think he's honestly going to side with Brix on it, even though... Because really, like, he doesn't exactly have a moral center of his own, so he kind of relies on the rest of the party for this stuff. He is honestly just going to ready to cast a spell if anything happens that, like, if she attempts to attack anyone else or anything in the party, is all he's going to do with the rest of his turn. He's not even going to say anything. He's just going to kind of leave it up to the ones who come next.
Alright, that brings us to Asher.
Yeah, to continue the exciting radio, Asher is going to ready a single deadly aim shot to hit either Nikshariel or Ilaris Aleshi, should enough of them appear to not have more than partial cover within 25 feet. I feel like that's a specific enough trigger.
Sure.
Of turn.
Basically, if one of them peeks up above the thing. Alright, well, that takes us to Alaris's turn. And let's just mark off a thingy. She casts a spell. You can't see her, so what does it matter? And it's Kira's turn. Kira, who is, by the way, enfeebled for 6 rounds. That is one thing that I do have in my notes.
Yes, I recall. And I certainly recalled before you mentioned it in the chat earlier today, so don't even worry about that. Ready in action to shoot someone with the composite bow. I'm pretty sure that's the last weapon I had out. If one of them gets too close to the edge, can I say the same thing as Asher?
Right.
Or just like less, I don't want to need to move. They can move though. I'm gonna shoot them.
Well, that brings us back around to Nikshariel. Now, remind me, did anyone actually say anything there?
Brix did.
Brix
I
did.
think Brix's was out loud, yeah.
Yeah, mine was out loud. That was like, no.
She's going to say, that is an unfortunate decision, but well, I won't try to convince you a second time. And she casts some sort of spell. Her turn passes by, and Brixby's up again. He waited a whole round.
Okay, so Brixby is going to walk over to the android corpse. So that's going to involve walking just a couple squares to the west. And it's going to arm the grenade. And I would like to use sleight of hand to conceal the grenade somehow in the android.
All right.
Like in the mouth. So I'm going to roll that, if that is acceptable.
Yeah, sounds reasonable. Pretty standard action to be stashing.
And what else is that skill for? Right? Yeah. So that's a 24 for grenade concealment in the android corpse.
Okay.
And it's armed, so Brixby is, with his 6 words, going to just look at Alwyn and everyone else. I guess Alwyn immediately to their left, but I guess everyone else in the party, and be like, and what I'm doing for the people that are at home and obviously not in the Skype call, so Izzy, myself, Sam, Jiro, and Jeff, I'm making the here to there hand motions. Put it in the hole. And that is my turn.
All right. Back up to Alwyn.
Alwyn then drags the android body up to the edge of the hole, which unfortunately I'm going to have to make a roll for that. And he says, "It's very heavy. Asher, can you help me push it the rest of the way in?" And he will make his roll and get a 21 on that. And Asher.
Oh yes, I'm happy to get this android down there. I hope you enjoy studying her. And then Asher will shove and, or I guess drag, so he'll have to move along with it. You said as a standard. And then he could presumably 5-foot step right back to where he was and not be against the pit. Cool. Then yeah, I do that.
Alright, you dump the android body in the pit. And that brings us back around to Alaris's turn. I think Alaris is smart enough to know when the android falls in that that is not the droids we are looking for. So she is going to open up her mouth and begin praying to Sugraz, the voice and screams. As a full round action, I will need a will save from each member of the party.
No. Certainly not. Is this a spell or spell-like ability?
It is a supernatural ability.
I hate that. I hate that for us.
Alright, so what did Brixby get?
Oh, he hasn't even rolled yet. He rolled an 18 for a 26.
Not too bad. How about Kira in the same square?
11 for 23.
Alright, pretty good. How about Asher?
Decidedly less good with a total of a 15.
That's pretty bad. That is pretty bad. And Alwyn to the south.
Alwyn somehow rolled his third 21 of the night with 3 different bonuses for the rolls, so he's a little weirded out, or at least his player is, but hopefully that's high enough.
That's impressive. So, here's what happens. Alwyn, Brixby, and Kira all take 13 non-lethal damage. Asher takes 26 non-lethal damage. Is currently and also 2 bleed damage and is staggered for the next round. Just a fun little non-lethally do there. That was a full round action, so of course her turn is over.
Neat.
Kira's up.
Well, was gonna be nice and just, wait for secret things to happen. But then she continued trying to hurt friends, so, guess I'll step... I'm gonna slide over 2 squares and see if that gives me a little better angle on them. Here I go. Next to Asher. An attempt to composite bow. Who just attacked?
That was Alaris that just attacked.
Alaris, yes, great. Alright, let's see how this goes. That's an 18 plus a 13, or, wait for it, 5, 35, 8 plus 3, yeah, something like that.
Are you standing like at the edge of the pit, or?
I'm standing.
I don't think you can see him unless you're at the lip of the pit, basically, because they're 30 feet
All right,
straight.
You
that's
might need
fine.
to be next to Alwyn.
Yeah.
Alright, that's fine. I can make that happen.
Okay, what was the attack roll?
18 plus 13. 35?
Yeah, that'll hit.
My 1d8. 6 points of piercing damage. Yeah.
Alright.
Shooting stuff.
Yeah, that hurts her.
And we'll add... Great. We'll add... We were gonna make a deal. Why do you keep trying to hurt us? That's my turn.
Can you make that reflex save for being right next to the pit?
Oh, yeah, right. That's right.
You're shooting for a 19.
It had to happen sometime.
Uh-oh.
No, I don't think anything can save this. This is fine. I wanted to be in the pit the whole time, although maybe not right
No,
now.
Not right now.
Not this
Are you
moment.
sure you want to be in the pit?
Well, this natural one says I don't have a choice.
Oh,
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
But hey, those 6 points of damage, she's gonna feel that.
Well, somebody's gonna feel something.
I'm unconcerned. I'm a great blood rager. I've got hit points for days. This is fine.
That's good. I'm proud of you for having so many hit points. Now, Nixariel is up next. She's very happy to see new company in the pit. So much so that she's not thinking about any bombs hidden in any bodies because, Kira has fallen down. Oh, wait, 3d6 falling damage for Kira.
Oh, yeah.
Jero, you want to roll that, or you want me to roll it, or Izzy roll it? I don't care who
Make
rolls
me
it.
roll damage against Kira.
I can roll it. I'll be the bad guy.
As
Okay.
well you should be.
9, 12 falling damage.
Oh, non-lethal falling damage.
Don't worry. You're not even going to care about that 12 damage in a moment.
I never care about 12 damage. Don't mock me.
Nixariel sees Kira lying on top of the dead android in front of her, and she says, I believe I mentioned earlier that I'm extremely good at harming people. And she's going to reach out and try to touch you. So
Oh, I hope that's not literal.
that is a... Where is it? That is a 21 to touch.
That'll beat my 11.
Alright. This is a pretty important blur roll right here. Let me just find my other half of my D100. A 94 on the blur. So how many hit points does Kira have right now?
Well, 121, but also I have 53 non-lethal.
So
Can I do
why don't
that?
you make that will save?
I'd love to.
That's pretty important.
Not awesome, but 21.
A 21 will fail.
That's still not dead.
Kira now has 1 hit point,
One?
but also the non-lethal renders her unconscious as her entire body explodes in unbelievable pain as a huge volume of negative energy has been pumped into her as Nixariel has just cast harm on you.
That's so many hit points, Sam. That's so many hit points.
Now the thing about this is that normally you would fall unconscious when your non-lethal total is greater than your remaining hit points, but due to the nature of Alaris's agonizing prayer that she has been delivering this non-lethal damage with, you don't fall unconscious, but rather fall helpless into a sort of conscious but immobile state where you can see, you can hear, and you can most certainly feel this pain, but you can't do anything else.
I was so cocky with my 121 hit points. And now I feel bad.
Well, everyone's about to feel bad because it's Brixby's turn, which I think means a grenade explodes.
it's a DC 15 reflex save.
I can't,
Alright.
but yeah.
I'm not sure how it works. I think you still make saves when you're unconscious, and this is effectively unconscious, just flavored differently.
Is it helpless, mechanically helpless, or is it...
Mechanically, it's basically exactly the same as unconscious, except that you can see and hear.
Okay, unconscious, you still get a reflex save, because that's one of those things that I always thought was kind of dumb.
No, it's great. Make a reflex save.
Yeah.
Beat a DC 15 reflex save.
I'm going to use a different
You
die.
got this.
I'm going to roll over here.
So
I'm gonna put my. Hold on. I'm putting my sky metal. I don't care. I'm putting my sky metal on this. So let's take that off.
all right.
All right.
Um,
Reflex save.
what'd you get?
Ooh, 27.
Oh, that's pretty good. Alaris gets a 23. I believe that's a pass for her. And little Niki,
Excellent movie.
17.
It still passes. DC 15.
All right.
All right. So everybody is taking. So half rounded down, 10, which would put our Kira at a respectable -9, which is not dead.
Yeah. We did it, team.
Solid.
Way to
Good
go.
team.
I was literally about to barf. The people on the call, I was like holding in the nervous barf.
Yeah.
That was like, and it was a great move. How I can say it. Cut out me complimenting you. I'm editing this episode.
When that grenade goes off, I'm just gonna, for no important reason, make a concentration check. I passed that, so just making a note. And yeah, Brixby, it's your turn.
Kira, are you okay? So Brixby runs the 5-foot steps to the edge. Looks down. Somehow maybe discerns that Kira is not like dead, but is just down. But the net result is going to be the same. He is going to fire a scorchy doodle at old No Boots. Just 1 second here. That is a 15 versus touch. It's a 12 versus touch.
Oh, one hit, one miss.
Alrighty. Old Zaleshadu is going to get this, but I also am going to apply my impromptu sneak attack. So, which I need to do more. So that is going to be 16 points of fire damage, 17 points of sneak attack damage. It's old No Boots.
No Boots doesn't like that. She's actually looking pretty hurt now. While we're on the subject of people being pretty hurt, you might want to also make that reflex save.
Oh,
You're
yeah,
next to the
totally.
pit.
Come on, Brixbo. Don't fall in the pit. It's a 16, Sam, on the die for a 26.
Oh,
All right.
That's a little bit of that radio drama for the people that aren't in our Roll20.
Just that half beat.
It's a radio drama for people who are in the roll 22 if they forget to look at Zach's roll on the screen.
But yeah, no, Brixbo is fine. I mean, I got Boots of the Cat, and that really wouldn't help.
But I got him.
But I got him. That cat got what was coming to them, too. That's the end of my turn.
All right. Alwyn.
Alwyn is going to look down into the pit and see all of these horrible enemies. By all of these, I mean 2. And Kira. He's tried a couple of spells against these guys. He knows that they seem to be good at passing his saves, so he's going to try something a little different than he did last time, and he is going to, at the bottom of that pit, fill the entire 10-foot square at the bottom in a sudden puff of glitter, and I need a con save from both of them.
All right. Fortitude save. Is that an enchantment?
Glitter dust is
I think it's conjuration.
No, it does conjuration.
Okay. So 20 from Alaris.
Alright, that's a pass.
And 31 from Nick Shariel.
They have such high saves. Yeah, they both pass, so they are covered in glitter. That's something that'll be fun for Kira to wake up to at least.
They look so festive.
But neither one of them is blinded. And then he is going to take a 5-foot step back.
I'm covering up Nick Shariel's token with the one I made.
Oh, okay. I thought you were summoning another enemy. For the people at home, a 4th token appeared in a pit in an empty spot. It was not a lot of fun. But yeah, he ends his turn by taking a 5-foot step back so that he does not fall into the pit.
All right.
Do you think the glitter really adheres with the recently exploded android that happened just before that? I can only imagine everybody is covered in pieces, and then Alwyn has just made them all gold dusted.
Well, all the tiny circuit board traces were already all over everything. So, and all that goop that's inside them. So it's a mess. It's a real mess down there. But a festive mess. And now it's Asher's festive mess to deal with.
Yes, Asher's Festive Mess, as we all recall, is the name of the animated short film holiday special that took place between books 1 and 2. Back us on Patreon to watch that beautiful gem. It doesn't exist. Asher is staggered and bleeding, so he can only do a standard action or a move action. But if I recall, I could still perhaps do a 5-foot step and a swift action and a standard action. I just can't do a full attack or a move.
Right? 5 foot's a free one.
Sweet. Asher's going to 5-foot step so that he can see Nick Shariel, notice that her token looks even cooler than it did before. And Asher will glare at Nick Shariel, who just took his companion unconscious, and will vindictively smite her and then fire a single deadly aim shot. Low. That is still good. It's still going to be a 22 to hit touch, but
22 will
sad
still
number
hit
anyway
touch.
on the dice. And then because she knocked his companion unconscious, the first attack will be 2 points per paladin level. So here comes a d8 plus 14. And in true fashion, it's a 1 on the d8. So 15 points of piercing and bludgeoning damage. It does not bypass DR automatically if it would apply.
Alright.
Oh, and I should make a reflex save.
You should do that. That is important.
21 total, so I beat that 19.
Well, it's remarkably close.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Alaris has taken a beating here. She's had better days. None of them involved encountering all of you, but she looks hurt, and her body is already kind of knitting itself back together. Anyways, as she regenerates, but she's gonna keep going with that agonizing prayer. I'm gonna need will saves from the conscious members of the party.
A will save, you say? Say 27.
So 25.
And how about Alwyn?
Halloween got a whopping 14.
Alright, so Alwyn failed, and Brixby and Asher have passed. So let me just roll my large number of dice here. That is going to be 14 non-lethal damage for Brixby and Asher, and 29 non-lethal damage for Alwyn, who is also staggered for 1 round and takes 4 bleed damage.
So Asher did take his 2 bleed. I checked that. And with that non-lethal, now has more non-lethal than he had remaining hit points. So Asher falls unconscious. Probably into the pit, right? It's the only thing that makes sense.
Well, you can still make reflex saves when unconscious, so you'll fall into the pit soon.
Okay. I turned his token comically upside down to indicate that he's unconscious. It's going great, fam.
Alright, Kira, I believe with your Raging Vitality you do heal 1 HP. But that's
2 HP.
not enough to... 2 HP?
Yeah.
Well, that's
Level
enough.
10.
Yeah.
Whew.
It does mean at least she's not considered dying. So that's good.
She's not considered dying. She looks real rough. Looks at about a minus 7 HP there. Not including non-lethal.
Not too bad. Let's see. It's Nick Shariel's turn, and she is looking rather pleased with herself as Kira's unconscious at the bottom of the pit, and Asher is unconscious on top of the pit. And she looks up at Brixby and Alwyn and says, "You can give me the body now. You can give up. Take your friends. I do not want to kill you. I believe I've been clear on that." And she's just gonna cast a little Cure-Do on herself and knit herself back together a little bit. And it's back to Brixby's turn.
Oh, this is rough. Okay, so Brixby is going to look down in the pit at Nickshariel, healing. So Zaleshi looks rough, right?
Yeah.
That is the consensus. Where Nickshariel, I mean, I know Chitin's on a scale of intentionally wounded to unintentionally wounded. She's looking less rough.
Yeah, I mean,
for sure.
I think that since you can see her now, it looks like she's basically been spending the rounds where you haven't been able to see her, just healing herself.
Right, that's fair. Okay, so Brixby's gonna look at Nickshariel and say, "Do not accept your accord." And all right, so that is a 22 versus touch against Zaleshi and a 13 versus touch against Zaleshi.
It's 1 hit.
Alrighty, and that is 12 points of fire damage.
All right, she's still up.
Right, well, 5-foot step away behind Asher, and it's going to be the end of my turn.
All right, Alwyn.
Alwyn is going to use his single action that he gets because he's staggered to cast Cure Critical Wounds on Asher. So that is 4d8 plus 1 per caster level, so 4d8 plus 7. Let me just do that in here because I only have 3d8s. So that is 34 points of healing to Asher.
Whoa. Thank you. So that stops his bleed.
That's a lot of healing.
And that will be his turn because he's staggered and can't do anything else.
All right. Asher, you're lying on the floor. I assume conscious.
Yeah,
but
conscious, not bleeding, nearly all non-lethal gone. So Asher fell unconscious, right? Talk me through this, Sam. If hypothetically a martial character was wielding a one-handed firearm in each hand and went unconscious at the edge of a pit, how do you want to rule where said martial character's weapons lie in relation to said pit?
I think we're gonna have to do a luck roll for each of the 2 guns.
So
just roll like a 50-50 chance on a D100.
I'm gonna go for higher. if I roll a 51 or higher, the weapon is at, within reach of Asher, not in the pit. 61 on the first one. Oh, yeah. Oh, 27 on the other. So, one revolver is in the pit, but I'm confident it's the one that had adamantages, so at least he's got the one with mundane rounds. Love how that worked out. So, writing that in my notes. Revolver with adamantine is in the pit. Asher will then use a move action to pick up his revolver and then take a single deadly aim shot. Seeing that Alaris is almost down, he'll try and knock her out, just like his mama said. That is only a 15 against touch.
Just barely gets it.
That is 12 points of bludgeoning and piercing.
So close. So very close. But she's still up.
And then I'll make another reflex save.
This is a tough one.
Oh no. It's 19, right?
Uh-oh.
You sure it's not 15? Because that's what Asher rolled.
19, yeah.
So I have good news, though.
Uh-oh.
Now Asher will be able to reach his other revolver as he takes 3d6 points of falling damage.
You probably did that on
Like
purpose,
a real
right?
hero.
Oh,
Ow.
so that's 9 falling damage. As Asher falls into the pile on top of Kira's unconscious body.
Yeah, but Asher was already prone, so joke's on you?
And he swallowed a grenade on the way down. We only have one play in the playbook.
So before we get too far, we did do it in the chat, but we didn't do it out loud. Alwyn had 4 points of bleed damage at the end of his turn.
Yep, and because of all of the non-lethal he took, especially from failing that one save and taking 29 points of non-lethal, he had been sitting at 2 HP. So that 4 points of non-lethal, that 4 points of bleed put him down under, and he is now unconscious because of his non-lethal.
Ouch. And that brings us to Alaris's turn. And Asher gets a up-close and personal view of her strange, almost dead-seeming flesh, knitting itself back together just a little bit as her wounds close a little bit, and she looks a little bit less like she's about to keel over. And she's got a sap in her hand, and she's gonna smack Asher with it a couple times. So that is a 26 to hit.
Yeah.
Your prone AC. That's 8 non-lethal damage, and only an 11 to hit your prone AC. I assume.
Thankfully, even with that,
do anything.
my AC is reduced by 4. It still does not hit.
While you're down here in the pit, though, you do feel an almost palpable aura of just pure fear filling the bottom of this pit, and I do need you to make a will save.
Alright, that is a 20. Dirty 20.
So you're shaken.
Not stirred.
You are shaken for a long time.
Alright, I've indicated that in my notes. Asher is shaken for a long time.
Alright, Kira, healing a little bit more, but still unconscious. Nick Shariel, still at the bottom of the pit, quite pleased with herself, of course. But, let's see, what's she gonna do here? She's just kind of waiting out this pit right now. She's waiting for whoever's still standing at the top. I think she doesn't know when the pit ends, so she's not going to hold her turn. I guess she's going to draw her whip as a move action and just for a little bit of fun try to give Asher a little lasher for Asher. 24 to hit his
That'll do.
prone AC. Brutal 1 non-lethal damage. Does that kill you?
Permanently. If only he wasn't shaken. That's how it works.
That makes sense.
The whip, if you're shaken, does
Yeah,
20 negative levels, I think, per damage.
as one would always expect. So that brings us around to Brixby. You are the only one standing on the team. Not that you know that. You don't really know Asher's status, except that he fell in the pit.
Brixby's going to go for a old Hail Desna. He's going to take a stride action down to the bottom right corner of the pit. And so, Sam, if I were to use a line spell, would you rule that would only hit Nixariel or No Shoes, or would it hit both of them if it was a line spell?
That's so... The angle's so weird because it has to be really steep to get down the 30 feet. I guess we could say you can hit both of them from there. If you sort of... We'll say Alaris is tall enough that if you're aiming for low on Nixariel, it'll cut through Alaris' square.
Bless you, because the alternative is going the other side and readying over and over until the pit is which is less good radio. So I need you to roll reflex saves. Brixby is going to break the glass with the fur and cast Lightning Bolt into the pit. Spell of Desperation.
Alright, cracked die on Alaris' save. Bad save for Alaris. That is a 12.
Oh, that's very much a fail.
Alright, Nixariel's reflex saves have been juiced by something. I can't tell you what right now, but 21.
Oh yeah, there's no way yeah, no, I don't have that sort of saves. Who do you think I am? Alwyn?
Some kind of Alwyn?
Exactly. Do I even have one of those? Yeah, no, it's a DC 18 in my reduced state. So that's fine though, because I'm gonna need old Chanty McChanterson to take 35 points of electricity damage.
That's so many.
17 for Nixariel.
Alright, and that's
No nickname.
non-trivial for a little Niki. Alright.
How's her
and
friend doing?
Alaris goes down.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, I really want it to be a satisfying, torching. I'll put in like a Jacob's Ladder sound effect or something.
Oh yeah, she's just like smoke pouring out of the eyeballs. Like,
There we go.
way negative.
Thank you. That's what the people want.
Which will bring us to... Oh, reflex save for you.
Come on in. The pit's fine.
Oh yeah.
Join us in the pit.
No,
It's a pit party.
Don't invite that into this. So despite the bard Kid Rock instructing us to get in the pit and try to love someone, Brixby is going to not do that by continuing to roll relatively high with a 16 for a 26. I'm also so sorry I just quoted him. It's a horrific man. He's also a skald. Certainly not a bard. He inspires rage.
Alright, so you don't fall in the pit. That's the good news. The bad news is on Alwyn's turn. Alwyn, who is unconscious.
It is gone.
And bleeding.
Yep.
So make sure you take that 4 damage. The pit goes away, and the corpse of Alaris and the definitely not corpse of Nixariel are up on surface level once more. So she kind of very menacingly rises up to Brixby's eye level and then a little ways past, unless he's...
Are we launched into the air comically and have to take more falling damage? Because that'd be really bad for Kira.
Oh, absolutely. you get thrown clear through the top of the tower. So, Asher, you're up. You are conscious, prone, on top of Kira, on top of an exploded android corpse.
Wow. Well, Asher is going to provoke some attacks of opportunity as he will do a rapid shot, full attack, deadly aim against his smote target. Swift action, of course, to focus said aim. Let's just, fill her full of lead.
Alright, she's gonna miss on that attack of opportunity.
Woohoo.
You do need a will save out of Brixby now that she's in your face.
Oh. What about seeing my face? Is this a spell or spell-like ability?
This is a spell.
Okay. Look at my face. 22.
Alright, you are not shaken. You're a little stirred.
Yeah, always.
Oh, okay.
Okay, now you may continue with your turn.
So we're looking at a dirty 20 as the lowest of the three against touch AC.
Then those will all hit touch. I feel like I'm gonna need a calculator for this.
You and me both. So we're looking at 17 plus 48, so 65 points of bludgeoning and piercing.
Wow.
I don't remember if she has DR or not, but you feel as though the shots don't cluster like they used to.
Oof. Well, it all seems to go through and just absolutely harms her quite horribly. But she's still up.
And from the ground, Asher reloads for a free action, because he can.
Alright. Alaris doesn't get a turn, but her smoldering corpse gets a little bit less smoldery. Kira's unconscious and squished by Asher corpse gets a little bit less unconscious and squished by Asher. Let's see, what does Nick Sherrill want to do? She's finally on even ground. She sees two of you. She's quite hurt. She's quite badly hurt. Just check one thing, and by one thing I mean I'm going to be looking at several spell descriptions right now. So I think what she is going to do, she is going to channel negative energy. And her channel is a little bit weird. It's not normal. She's going to target Asher specifically with this. We still need will saves from everybody. But Asher is specifically targeted. So Alwyn is the furthest north.
That's a very bad roll. That is an 11.
Alright, that's a fail. And how about Asher as the target of the spell?
Speaking of very bad rolls, that's a 12.
That's also a fail. That's a big deal. How about Kira?
Sorry, I didn't know you also meant me. My bad. Okay, hang on. You said Will, right? 25.
Alright, that's pretty good. And how about Brixby?
10. 10.
Alright, so everyone is going to take 5 damage. Just 5. Brixby is sickened. And Asher is sickened and nauseated. She uses some sort of extremely painful variant channel. And
Brixby.
Brixby, you're up.
Literally down to one last prepared damage dealing spell, which is his last Scorchy Doodle. He's going to passively vomit just a little bit. He's not nauseated, so just a tiny bit. And then he's going to extend his hand out. Actually, he's not. Still spell. He's just going to spend the whole time, and silent spell from Tricky Spells. He's going to spend the whole time vomiting. And with my reduce to hit, this is really looking nice. We got 2 whacks at this, folks. That's an 8 versus touch and a 14 versus touch.
Those are both misses.
Yep, that's it. I rolled a 2 and an 8, and that is Brixby's turn. Sorry.
Alan's over there bleeding. Asher, you're barfing.
Yeah, Asher can take
anything
move
that you
actions,
can do
which
here.
provoke to like stand up. So for now, he is just going to still provoke. Let me see. It does that. Provoke to... Yep, it does provoke to pick up an item. So he's going to provoke either way. But hey, he'll at least provoke by picking up his other revolver. Still prone, by the way.
That is a 22.
Yep. Whip me, Niki.
The massive 2 non-lethal
F10.
damage with the
All right.
whip. She's very strong, is what we're saying.
That's what I'm picking up.
It's more insulting than anything, really. Oh, but that was your whole turn.
I mean, that's it. He's sickened, shaken, nauseated, prone. Basically
I was
living
waiting
his
for you
best
to
life.
do something else, and then yeah. So a little bit more knitting for Alaris, but she's got a long way to go. Kira might not even be negative anymore, but still unconscious.
Well, remember how you just did damage to us?
Oh yeah, it wasn't on purpose.
So, no. I feel like that's a lie. I will take 2 more points. I do this not all day, but for a while longer.
Alright, well, this time, since Nixariel doesn't want to kill anyone, she's going to selectively channel and only go for Asher and Brixby, but this time Brixby is the target for the nauseation. I will need will saves.
Cool. That is reduced by being sickened for those that are checking that at home. Oh no. But it choose the 20.
For those at home, Zach just rolled 11 d20, and
11
it was on
d20.
roll 20.
It's a little
so they all-
trick. That's how you do a warm-up, because that's how I got that 17 for a 23.
Well,
so
thanks
that's a
to
pass.
Zach
How about
mentioned
Asher?
the sickened, which I believe does stack with shaken. So another 12 for Asher, not to belabor it. My dice roll was higher, but my penalty was 2.
Alright, so the conditions, the good news is the conditions don't change on either of you this time. Asher's still nauseated, Brixby's still sickened, Asher's still shaken. You both take 10 non-lethal damage, or no, not non-lethal damage, 10 negative energy damage. And then Nick Shariel is just gonna walk over to the other side of the room just to get a little bit more space between herself and all of you. That's her turn.
Capital idea. Brixby is going to head to the 5-foot space right in front of Victoriel, provoking. Whip me, Niki, as the album, or sorry, as the ep title goes. Thanks, Jeff. Oh, no.
That is only a 13 on the Whipperoo.
That does not. That would be a crit fail in old 2nd edition. So, there is only a vocal component for this spell. Brixby, from his position, puts a hand on his friend Alwyn, puts a paw on the stack of Asher and Kira, and goes, "You suck." And then dimension doors out to the front of the tower. Wow. PCs can do it too.
What's the will save to resist that?
If the will save to resist that, if you do want to know, is 19.
Does that mean Asher is attempting to resist?
Yeah, but I rolled actually and I rolled a good enough will save to successfully linger. Finally, I rolled a natural 16.
Wow.
She moved out of range, man. Of provoking, presumably. We could still take her down.
Okay, well, I can't stop. Is the thing. Like, if someone doesn't go for it, I don't know. I've already cast the spell, so yeah. I mean, I take Alwyn and Kira out of there.
All right.
Because I mean, I've got 5 hit points. If she nauseates me or takes me down, there's no way we're getting out of here. So, Brixby is acting on the I'm not letting anybody else die. So if you want to stay, you can stay. But just letting you know that the spell has to go off. So I'm taking them out.
No, Asher knows that. He's been DD'd a couple times.
So
How long does nauseated last?
Not that you would know this, but it's 4 rounds.
All right.
So in the next second, Brixby, Alwyn, and Kira are all gone. And it's Asher, it's Nick Shariel, and it's several bodies in the room. It's Asher's turn. You're standing, you're barfing, and you're alone.
No, so
Of your own volition.
of his own volition, Asher was not standing, still prone, but now he will stand. And she just whipped, so even if she has enough reach, she can't.
Yeah, she already did it the once.
Maybe she has combat reflexes, although she would have tried to
Maybe.
potentially attack him multiple times during his full attack. So Asher stands to his feet, and he can only take that move action. But the person with the bag of holding is gone. Presumably Asher's not concealing Cassandra in his backpack. She says she doesn't want to kill us, so Asher just stares at her and says just that. Well, and he kind of spits a little blood. If hypothetically we had Cassandra Lee with us, she's not here in this room anymore. You said you don't want to kill anybody. Ball's in your court. That's his turn.
And as it comes back around to her turn, she's just standing there watching Asher, knowing that he's going to regain his faculties soon enough. She's just going to say, I don't want to kill any of you, but exceptions can always be made. And she is going to cast a spell on Asher. I need a fortitude save.
That is not the number I wanted to see on the dice, because it was a 2. And with the shaken and sicken penalties, that brings me to a total of an 8. Does an 8 save, Sam?
It doesn't. So, what happens here is Asher takes 4 points of constitution damage as his skin starts to split and loosen like it's rejecting his body. And, I mean, this has got to feel quite awful. But after she casts the spell, she's just gonna walk past Asher and stand next to Valeris. Oh, we take a moment for Brixby outside the tower with your crew.
I think like Brixby is going to immediately notice that Asher isn't there, and both of them are down, his compatriots. So I think the first thing that Brixby is going to do... Shoot, I don't even think I have the expired space drugs anymore. Is that on you, Alwyn?
No.
I guess I must still have them.
The only healing stuff I have a couple of scrolls, and I have the Wand of Cure Serious Wounds that we got off one of the guys here.
Oh, you have that wand? Where is it? Like, is it in your...
It's not in my wand sheath. It's in my belt pouch, because I sheathed the lightning bolts and the gust of wind, the ones that are like more useful in combat.
Okay, I definitely still have, even though I have a decent use magic device, I'm just going to pull out the expired space drugs. That's a full round action.
And that brings us back around to Asher's turn. Are you still conscious?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, less constitutinous, as the technical term is, but still conscious. And he looks at her with his eyes, and his face is, getting more gaunt as the life force is kind of receded from him. But he asks her just a single word to start with. He says, "Why? Why do you want the body of a dead android? Of what use is a corpse to the Technic League?" And he's still nauseated for at least this round. I think it might be the last round. So he can't even make a diplomacy roll as a standard action. But he will drop the second revolver that he picked up as a free action and draw out his own healing nanite gun with his move action, so that he's got a healing gun in one hand and a revolver in the other, as if to say he can do this all day.
At the end of Asher's turn, he takes one more constitution damage.
That sucks.
As his skin literally falls off, revealing the musculature. It's super, super gross. And while you don't have skin, you have a -4 penalty against diseases, pain effects, poison effects, and to every charisma-based skill check, with the exception of Intimidate and Use Magic Device. However, the magical effect that was making your skin fall off seems to have ebbed. So that's the good news. The bad news is she's still in the room with you, and she's just gonna reach out and touch you. And as she does, she says, "This creature stole something from someone very powerful. I'm simply trying to right a wrong here." And that is a 28 to touch, Asher.
Yeah, I'll touch.
You have a will save.
Oh, cool. Is this one of those things that will cause me to take a penalty from being skinless?
No, because it's a will save.
Oh, man. The only successful will save was to stay behind. It's just been trash. It's low. It's the number of the night. It's a 12. Even though my number is, I've rolled higher and higher, I'm still getting 12s.
Well, Asher takes 25 negative energy damage as she hits him with a inflict serious wounds.
Yeah, he drops. He's unconscious.
And we fade to black on the inside of the tower, and we are out of initiative. What's going on outside that tower?
So Brixby is just going to, he is like stressing, dropping the gun, and is going to, looking at both of them, like Big Stuff Alwyn, Big Stuff Alwyn. It's like, and then puts it into Big Stuff. So heals Big Stuff. I only have a brown nanite hypo gun, so that is only going to be like 1d8 plus something, probably +1. Yes.
I'll take it.
That's 8 points of healing. Almost
Hey.
max.
As long as she stays raging, she is currently conscious.
Is this one where you have the Time Worn effect on the table?
It was. I thought it was the first time that it was used, right?
Oh,
And the
okay.
last time it was used.
No, for pharmaceuticals, it's every time you get a roll. But you do get to roll twice.
I do.
So it could be even better.
It could be.
Oh, wait. No, I forgot about non-lethal damage. Never mind.
45 and a 55.
So, yeah, the 45 is... Looks like the 45 is your better result, which basically is Kira only gets half of that.
Okay, so you get 4 hit points.
Thanks. It's Izzy speaking because Kira's unconscious.
So I think, like, we're not really in rounds anymore because, combat's over. And Asher is, like, able to perceive around him because his non-lethal damage was from that oration. So he basically sees Nixariel pick up Alaris or help her to her feet as she slowly starts to regain consciousness. And they just walk out of the room and they leave him there in a pile of his own skin. And the next thing he knows, they're gone. Now, the party has no idea what's happened other than that Asher stayed behind. So, let's see what's happening out there as Brixby's attempting to bring everybody back to consciousness.
Yeah, I mean, he only has one dimension door. He already used his arcane bond. He has no way of getting back in. And there was no return plan. So even if he started running at full speed, he wouldn't be able to get downstairs for 20-something rounds. Right? Like, I have a 20-foot move speed. So, I mean, it's not what he wants to do. And part of me wants to really just run headlong into the tower, but I think he's going to try to bring at least... he's going to try Alwyn, since that didn't immediately bring Kira up. Because he doesn't know. He doesn't know if, like, something's wrong with Kira. So he's going to move on to Alwyn, and he's gonna try again. So I'll roll the Time Worn first. So that's a 59 and a 59, which is very weird.
Normal effect, but need a fortitude save from Alan.
All right. So, and that's only two healing for you.
So that is a 14 on the die for my fort, so that is a 19.
Well, you passed the save, so you take 1 point of constitution damage from this healing.
Ugh. Yeah. Quick question. Am I still bleeding up until this point? Now that the gun's healed me, I'm not. But was I bleeding for like those last 3 rounds of the fight?
Yes, you were. Remember, when you heal non-lethal and lethal at the same time.
And, yeah. Hero Lab does both.
Fancy Hero Lab. Showing off.
And I'm down to only 56 non-lethal damage. But at least I'm not bleeding.
All right, so, I mean, theoretically, it takes a minute for Brixby to get you guys up.
Yeah, if he focuses on me while Kira rage heals herself, once I'm up, I can start healing with my stuff.
That's the thought. Is I think he gets Alwyn up, and the idea is basically as soon as Kira's up, he's like pretty much as soon people can heal as they're running, but as soon as everybody is up and aware, Brixby is now going to run into the tower. I guess like maybe I should roll for as long as it takes to bring Alwyn up, right? Okay.
Yeah, just let me know how many rolls that is,
Yeah.
and I can...
How many rolls that is, and then you can see how many rounds of rage is. And don't forget you're healing 2 points every round of that rage, too.
That is a 100 and a 3.
Well, the 100 counts as 2 doses, and you can re-roll any ones on the healing.
Oh, cool. Oh, wait, no, there is no one to re-roll.
Nice.
So, yeah, so like it doubles? Or when you say,
You get 2d8.
Oh,
instead
okay.
of-
So I'll just do another D8.
It's 2d8 plus 2 instead of 1d8 plus 1.
Yay.
Or whatever.
Well, yeah, that was at the 5 plus 1 above was one of those. So I will add this
Yeah, so 6.
6 and 4. So 10. You still down?
I am up by
All right,
1
cool.
point.
Doctor, heal thyself.
47 HP, 46 non-lethal. Yep. Okay, so he will, on his turn, immediately sit up, I'm assuming, in the 6 seconds of that. Brooksby tells him, heal Kira, and he will reach over next to him, cast a Cure Serious on Kira. That is 28 points of healing for Kira.
Wait. Oh, hang on. 8, you said?
28.
Need one more. Nope, I'm good, actually. I
Need
got
one more?
4 HP.
Oh.
We're good. This
We
is fine.
can get you while we're running or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll do the rest off camera. I just wanted to make sure you weren't going to die before we were out of rounds. Because I can also I know I have a little bit of stat damage, and if anybody else has stat damage, I can cure that with Lester Restorations. And we can do all that off camera, too.
Cool.
If anybody has Drain, that needs Diamond Dust, which we don't have, but I can do any damage.
No, just the negative level for me.
All right, so we're running back in.
Yep. Running. I take time to cast the discs so I can stay up with them.
All right, and as you come in, like, the tower seems the same as it has been. I mean, everything, I think, is probably, like, in this heightened state of adrenaline right now. Like, there's still kind of buzzing in your ears from whatever that oration was, and, like, the fear aura, like, that was digging into you, and just, like, all these horrible pain effects, and just being unconscious, and not knowing what's going on with Asher. But nothing gets in your way on the way up, nor on the way back down. It takes a little while, because you got to run up like 6 floors, and then you got to run down like 10 floors, basically. Then you're in the basement.
And run straight to Asher.
Nothing gets in your way. No sign of Nick Shariel. No sign of Alaris's body. Just Asher lying on the ground, eyes open, his skin pooled around him. Like, it's still probably caught in his clothing, but separated from his body. So it's just the most gruesome sight.
Ugh.
Yeah. Ew.
It's not a king game. We don't say, we all run downstairs like, ooh, I don't know if I want to
Never
touch
mind.
him.
Yikes.
Who's gonna
No.
get
Go.
that?
Did we say, was Asher's thing... So I guess we'd have to, for us to know, we'd have to make like a medicine roll or something. Was his stuff damage or drain?
It was damage.
Damage? Okay, so I can heal that, but I would try to like heal him
Get that
first.
skin back on.
Yeah, we gotta get the whole.
Yeah, hopefully... I'm hoping... I keep comparing this. There's a monster ability called Flay that is what I thought you did at first. I'm like, oh my god, I didn't know there was a spell version of this. But that's clearly not what this is, and I'm so confused as to how we fix this.
There's like literally like a spell. I can't remember what it's called. It's like unlock skin or something like that, and it straight up
Yeah.
just like
Yeah, I'm assuming that's what this is. Yeah. I thought at first this was Flay, which is like the round
like
after your skin
what
comes
the
off, you just
Crochet
permanently
does.
die. And even if you get like resurrected, you have to have your skin put back on you. You
you
don't
need to be
come
like
back.
miracled or something. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Luckily not that brutal.
So he is going to... I'm out of that one, but I do have my Cure Serious. He is going to do... Ooh, wow, that was a good roll. 26 points of healing to Asher.
Yeah, that wipes all of his non-lethal and brings him up to a robust 28.
Does he have skin?
No, the skin is still off.
still off?
Okay, in that case, I'm going to do a lesser rest, which is 1d4 points of ability damage. So I've already been rolling in here. I'm going to keep rolling in here. Hey, that is a 4. Regain 4 con damage.
So, the skin that fell off of Asher is still definitely off of him and is just basically like a dead Asher-shaped husk, but he is growing new skin underneath. So, I mean, he's kind of in a state right now where you're going to have to cut him out of an Asher cocoon.
Is he a
Gross.
butterfly?
Oh, lovely.
It's just a moth.
just
Everything is a
pupating in
moth
there.
in this AP now. Long Dreamer's like, I'm sorry I laid eggs inside your cowboy friend.
Oh, there we go. Heal 4 more points of con.
That is the most specific sticker in Kira's book.
I need to roll more 20 and roll 20 more often.
I
'cause
know,
that was
yeah, it's loving
2
it.
it likes
max
you.
rolls on that die in
way
a
to
row.
go. Look at all those green numbers.
Man,
So that was another 4 points of con healing, which I think that's everything she did to you, but I don't remember if you had earlier damage before that or not.
no, he is the most constitutinous person wearing this former shell.
With the removal of the last of the con damage, Asher's fresh new skin has grown on his body, and the -4 against diseases, pain, poison, and charisma based checks is gone. He's conscious. He's still lying in a weird skin puddle with glitter and robot guts, and you're still looking at a teammate who just chose to stay behind.
Yeah,
I'm
what
going to
did
bed.
Rick's shoot? Night, Sam.
Night, Sam.
Good night, Sam.
Good night, Sam.
Good night, Asher Sape Skidsack.
Against the machine. Against the machine.
Pot Against the Machine is property of Network Against the Machine LLC, all rights reserved. Pathfinder and the Iron Gods Adventure Path are property of Paizo Publishing. See their website for more details. Theme Against the Machine was written and performed by our own Zach. See the show notes for additional music and sound licensing. If you enjoyed the show, we encourage you to leave us a review. I forgot the Kira gets a will save for harm.
Oh. Oh. Okay.
Oh, sweet.
Um,
Well, I'll cut that in. Like, I'll pop it before the plippy plops.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, no worries.
Oh. Just a second. Pause for cat.
It's old no boots. I'm gonna edit that so I sound like coherent.
Here's my voice. There it is. Appearing on the thing.